Hi everyone, I'm Gidget Carrizales. I quit my corporate job. Yeah, I did that. Well, not today. I'm actually into my second week. And I feel very strong to share this story with you guys. I had a turning point. Yes, turning point. I've been listening to the HCI podcast, and I have been listening to the turning points, and I realized what my latest turning point was. Of course, I've had many turning points in my life, as we probably all have. Just to give a quick rundown, I was a 15-year-old mother and wife. I have 4 children. My first marriage lasted about 17 years, which was pretty rocky and quite abusive. And was a single mom of 4 kids for a long time. And have recently, 5 years ago, met the man of my dreams that God sent me, and I'm so thankful for him. But enough on that right now. I'll cover a lot more of that and share more of my life story with you in other videos. However, the turning point of me taking the jump, taking the leap of faith to quit my corporate job of 10 years. I was a corporate trainer, organizational development manager, so I've been doing training for quite some time now. However, long life of health issues, fighting the medical systems, trying to figure out what is wrong with me, doing this, doing that, drove me to taking control of my own health and researching and studying. And again, I won't spend too much time on that right now. I'll cover that in other videos, but I wanted to share my turning point with everyone because I feel that God is telling me to share this. So a couple of years ago, my husband and I started an all-natural skincare business, and it has been growing and booming pretty good. And I came to this skincare production originally for my own health and for trying to get rid of toxins and that kind of thing. Doing all this while working a full-time job. And during this time, I knew that I had a huge calling and this pulling to share my story with other people, to help other people become healthy and educate them on skincare products that are full of toxins, food that are full of toxins, and that kind of thing. So to make a long story short, for the last year or so, I've been feeling this strong burning desire in me to help people and to educate people, and to the point of just dreading going into my corporate job, a black cloud coming over me every time I was driving in. And I'll share more on that aspect of my life probably later in future videos. But just to let you know, probably about a year ago, my stepfather was actually taken to the hospital and was pretty much what we thought on his deathbed. He had had cirrhosis of the liver. And this man has been a wonderful man, a wonderful main parent, guardian in my life. And throughout his whole life, he worked his ass off. And he was in restaurant management, still is. In restaurant management our whole life. We moved around everywhere. He worked day and night. Anyone who has ever been in the restaurant business or retail business, you know that nights and weekends they're not yours. And I remember going to the hospital and looking at him and thinking, this man has just heard that he may not be leaving the hospital due to the condition of his liver and his health. And I looked at him thinking, I wonder what is going through his mind. What is he regretting right now? I wonder if he's thinking, if I could do it all over again, what would I do differently? What do I wish I would have done that I never did? From that moment on, I realized that I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to be that person laying on that hospital bed or what have you thinking, why did I waste my life, working my life away? So that really changed a lot of things inside me, but still yet was not enough to push me over the edge to take the leap of leaving my secured corporate job and that secure paycheck. But I will share this with you. Over time, during that time and over time is when I decided to become a health coach. And that's when I joined HCI in February. So I am in Pillar 2 now, and I am loving it. I feel very strong and have a lot of faith that I'm on the right track. But what really was the turning point for me was about a month ago. No, it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I got a call that my real father, my biological father, which he had been fighting a rare cancer, which was CML, so leukemia, I'm sorry. Been battling a rare leukemia, CML, for quite some time. And I just saw him a year and a half ago. Looked like Dad. So when I got the call that he was in the hospital and I went to the hospital, I walked into this room and I saw this man laying in bed, in this hospital bed, that did not look like my father, that I had just seen a year and a half ago. And I looked at him in disbelief almost that this can't be my father. I just saw him a year and a half ago. He didn't look like this. And they were talking that he wasn't doing well. He was just a few days from getting a bone marrow transplant that would have probably saved his life. However, he had come down with a lot of infections that his body could no longer fight off. He had been on so many antibiotics for so many different infections that his body had nothing else to fight off anymore. So, as devastating as that was, I couldn't even stay there more than 5 minutes. He didn't know who I was. Well, I think he did know who I was because I said, "Dad, do you know who this is?" And for the split second that he could keep eye contact with me, he said, "Of course." So I do know that he knows who I was. But the thing that resonated with me the most when I left there, and I was talking to my husband, we stopped right after that and had an appetizer and a glass of wine. And I was telling my husband, you know what? Even though he's laying there on his deathbed at only 63 years old, I have no doubt in my mind that this man does not have any regrets. He has lived his life doing what he loved. He loved horses. He loved people. And years ago, he built this ranch and he boarded horses, and people all over the town would bring their horses and board them, and he had like pony rides, and schools, elementary schools from around the area would come and take field trips at my father's ranch, and he loved it. He loved it. That's what he spent his life doing, day and night. And spending his day and night doing that was not work for him. That was love. And because he was able to touch so many people, and so many people were able to touch him, I felt good knowing that whatever happens from this point on, whether he gets better and makes it to that bone marrow transplant or if he passes away, I know that he passed away doing what he absolutely loved. And that night, I made a decision, and my husband was like, "You need to do it. You need to make a decision." And I made a decision that I was going to turn my 2-week notice in. I had waited long enough. I don't know where the money's going to come from. I don't know what's going to happen. I might fall on my ass. I don't know. But I knew at that moment that I needed to do this. And there was some kind of comfort in me that I wasn't panicking and I wasn't freaking out. So the next morning I walk into my boss's office, turned in my resignation, and I felt this huge relief, this weight off of my shoulders. And when I came out of her office from giving my resignation, I walked into my office and I got a phone call, and it was my aunt. And I knew this wasn't good. No more than 10 minutes after me walking out giving my resignation, I got the call that my father had just passed away. And when I got that call, of course I was upset, but I felt this huge peace come over me. And it was almost like confirmation that I did exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And that is going after my dream and helping other people, just like my father did. And for that, I am grateful that that I've made the decision that I've made. And I am jumping in and I'm going all for it. And I know that God and my Father, Spirit, and guardian angels, or whatever you want to call it, is going to pave that road. And things are going to fall into place. And I don't know why I'm feeling so strong or compelled to share my story, but I feel like someone out there needs it. And if it's you, I hope this helps you make that decision that you've been struggling with, that burning, that when you go in to whatever it is that you do every day, and you know that you're supposed to be doing something else, then you're supposed to be doing something else. I love you guys.